The Kansas City Chiefs are being connected to a specific name with their first pick in the NFL Draft, the 31st overall selection. And on paper, the fit makes sense. The position lines up with a major need, and the upside is undeniable. But there's a huge risk that comes with it. I'm talking about a player who might not even see the field in year one, and whose commitment to the game has quietly raised eyebrows across the league. If the Chiefs go through with this pick, they won't just be drafting for talent, they'll be gambling on health, maturity, and long-term projection, all while trying to stay on top of the NFL. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. The player in question? Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. Now, before I dive in, let me be clear. Simmons is talented. There's a reason his name keeps coming up. If not for significant injury and some off-field concerns, he might be off the board before Kansas City even picks. But because of those very real concerns, he's sitting right in their range, and that's what makes this decision so tricky. Let's start with the context. The Chiefs haven't had a true solution at left tackle since Patrick Mahomes became the starter. Yes, they've had stopgaps and big money signings, but they haven't landed a young, long-term anchor at that position. That's what makes someone like Simmons so tempting. He's a potential fix for the next 5+ years if everything breaks right. But let's talk about those ifs. The first red flag is the injury, a torn patellar tendon. This isn't a sprain or even a standard ACL tear. A patella injury for a 300-pound offensive lineman is a massive question mark. Think about the kind of stress these players put on their knees every snap. Recovery is far from guaranteed, and even those who return sometimes never look the same again. It's in the same category as an Achilles injury, one of the toughest to fully bounce back from. Then there's the second red flag, maturity concerns. Reports from several league insiders suggest Simmons has left some front offices questioning his love for the game and whether he's ready for the grind of the NFL. One anonymous head coach even told Matt Verderame, unprompted, that his team wouldn't touch Simmons because of all the red flags. And to be clear, this isn't about legal trouble. It's about commitment, work ethic, and mindset, intangibles that can make or break a career. Now, there are people in NFL circles who believe those concerns might be overblown, and maybe they are. But when you combine those questions with the fact that Simmons likely won't be able to play in his rookie season due to injury, you're taking on a lot of risk. And it's clear that even among Chiefs analysts, there's a split on whether this is a gamble worth taking. Let's walk through what the Chiefs would be signing up for. If they draft Simmons and he's not healthy enough to play in 2024, they're essentially burning 1 year of his rookie deal. That means 20% of his contract value is gone before he ever takes a meaningful snap. And if they trade up to get him, which Alec Lewis has reported as a possibility, they'd be sacrificing even more capital, picks they could use to build depth or add immediate contributors. And all of this is happening while Kansas City is smack in the middle of a Super Bowl window. So why even consider it? Because the upside is real. If Simmons returns to form, and the character concerns don't show up at the pro level, the Chiefs could finally fix left tackle. That would allow them to slide Jawan Taylor back to the right side, or even move on from him after next season. Jalen Morris would then be their swing tackle or right tackle, depending on how the roster shakes out. In other words, it's a future-facing move. You're not improving your offensive line today. You're betting that Josh Simmons is the missing piece for 2025 and beyond. But this isn't a deep offensive tackle class. In Dane Brugler's latest mock draft, Simmons was the 5th tackle off the board, and that's despite all these concerns. That tells you how desperate teams are for talent at the position. Still, if you're the Chiefs and you're looking at the board at pick 31, or even 24 if you trade up, you have to ask yourself, is there a better way to spend this pick? There are defensive tackles in this class who could play day one. There are wide receivers like Luther Burden, who Verderame and Franklin both believe is criminally underrated. If he's on the board and you pass him up to take a hurt tackle with question marks, you better be right. Because if Simmons doesn't pan out, not only did you waste your first rounder, but you missed a chance to add a real difference maker to your offense or defense. That's the calculation. Now, Franklin and Verderame did entertain the idea of trading back. If the board falls poorly, if all the top tackles, receivers, and defensive linemen are gone, maybe you move down a few spots and take Simmons in the early second. At that point, the value starts to make more sense. You're not risking as much, and the upside remains intact. It's also worth remembering that the Chiefs aren't in desperation mode. They've won 2 straight Super Bowls. They don't need to force anything. If the right guy is there, take him. If not, don't try to create value where there isn't any. I'll wrap this by being fair to Josh Simmons. He is talented. There's a reason people are still putting him in first-round conversations. He played well at Ohio State, and before his injury, he had real buzz. But that injury changed things. And now, the team that drafts him is betting that his rehab goes smoothly, his maturity levels out, and that his upside eventually pays off. If that team is Kansas City, then Brett Veach better be absolutely sure. Because in a class that lacks elite tackle depth and with other needs on the roster, this isn't just a first-round pick. It's a statement about the direction of the team, and that's why this might be the biggest risk the Chiefs could take on draft night.